Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. If you are new here, my name is Layla and today I'm going over my finances for October 2024. Happy November. I hope you had a great month of October. October was great for me. I spent the bulk of the time down in Destin, Florida. It was absolutely beautiful. Highly recommend visiting Destin, Florida, or Florida in general that time of year because the weather was still really nice but less people around. I also attended FinCon, which is a finance conference for money nerds and basically finance content creators. So that was a joy to experience. I am so glad that I went and I've already bought my pass for next year. And now I'm kind of back into routine and settled in. So I am actually filming this on November 1st, the day that this video is going up, because I couldn't film it any earlier because I needed my final numbers for October. So in these videos, I go over all of my income, all of my spending, my savings, my investment balances, and then my net worth, along with a number of other things. So let me go ahead and hop into it. I'm gonna start with the financial goal that I set for the month of October. And that was an income goal. I wanted to make at least $5,000 from my business revenue. And unfortunately, I did not achieve that. I would say I was kind of close. I'm over 4,000. I'll give that exact number in just a moment. I also put up a video where I break down all of my income sources for the month. So that video will be up probably next week. But I am still pretty happy to be over 4,000. That's actually the number that I budgeted with. I told y'all that I typically prefer to be more conservative when I'm budgeting. So I said that I will be making at least 4,000 in my budget, but I was aiming for 5,000 or more. Now, when I do that, I don't know if I'm kind of like sabotaging myself because I'm like mentally thinking, oh, as long as I make 4K, as long as I make 4K, that type of thing. So that's another reason why it would be beneficial for me to get a month ahead, which is something that I have mentioned in the last few months of these videos, and I'll kind of explain it as I go through things here. But as of right now, everything, all of my money is very real time. So whatever I make for the month, I am budgeting basically based off of that. So let's go ahead and hop into my spending. So here we are on my spreadsheets. If you are interested in a spreadsheet that looks just like this, so if you're self-employed as well, you can get a copy of this that's linked down below in my description box, but also on that same sheet, you'll see a number of different budgeting template options. They're all very simple and look similar to this. So if you're not sure where to start, I have notes within the spreadsheet that should be helpful for you to use it, but also you can watch my videos and kind of see how things work. So I'm gonna start up at the top. This section is for the business side of things. So my gross business revenue, oh, I put 3,000 as expected. See, I didn't even realize that. I thought I said 4,000, but I think that was for November. So I was expecting at least 3,000, but I actually made $4,225.42 from my business. And then for rollover business revenue, I was expecting 1,100, and that was actually much higher at $2,760.54. So I've talked about, like I said before, I've talked about this in more recent videos, how I do want to get basically a month ahead in my checking account, my business checking account, so that I can budget based off of a set amount on a monthly basis instead of having to depend on what is possible for the upcoming month, because business income is very unpredictable. So I did a good job of that from September rolling into October. As you can see, almost 3,000 saved up. So I was like, oh great, I'll be able to do this probably by the end of the year. But then I had quite a bit in business expenses for October. So yeah, I can't say that this blasted, but yeah, it's okay. We'll get to it eventually for sure. Then we have expenses on the business side. So payroll, that is $2,000. It's what I pay myself. 401k match, that is 4% match, so $80. Payroll taxes, that was $153. For distribution, I budgeted 0, but I don't know if I said it in that video, but if I was gonna make more money or if I needed more money, I would do a distribution, and I did end up giving myself $1,625. So a distribution is just when I transfer from my business checking account to my personal checking account. And for the last couple of months, I haven't been doing it, or I haven't been doing much, but October I did have more money coming in and I had more to pay for. So yeah. And then actual business expenses, I budgeted $1,850, but this looks much different. $2,369.50. So in that income report video I was talking about, that's going to be up next week, I also go over my business expenses, so you can see the breakdown of that there. But yeah, this was much higher. I spent more on a number of things that I obviously didn't expect to, but the good thing is that these are all business write-offs and it saves me in taxes. So it's fine with me. Honestly, it's just an investment back into the business, back into myself. And then final thing up here would be insurance. So this is health and dental insurance, $99.28. I have my insurance through healthcare.gov. I do have a tax credit applied to that. So without that tax credit, this would be like $400 or something like that. Today is actually open enrollment, so I need to look into that. I probably will this weekend, but ideally next year I'll be paying the same price, or I don't know. I don't know what to expect yet, but I'll figure that out over the next few days. So altogether though, I was positive. So if you subtract my expenses from my gross business revenue and what I had rolled over, I was positive $659, which basically that just stays in my checking account. All right, then down here, this is the personal side of things. So me as the employee of my business, I received $2,000 in income. That's my paychecks. That's my gross paychecks. Like I said, my distribution was $1,625. I did earn some extra income, $770.35. I also break this down in that income report video coming next week. But I will say that this did include an account bonus, which I will be making a full video on, a guide on it. I'm gonna have a PDF and everything. So stay tuned for that. That's coming in November, and I can't believe I haven't made a video on this sooner, so I'm excited for it. And let me plug right here, because I'm not good at doing this in the middle of the video, but if you could please give this video a thumbs up and subscribe if you aren't already, because I see a lot of people on my channel. I can see the percentage that are not subscribed, so I would really appreciate it if you do, and a like also really helps. Okay, and then for October, I did not pull any money from my sinking fund, so let's go through all of my expenses here. As for taxes, I budgeted $350.18. That is from my paychecks, just taxes on my paychecks, and that is correct. I know that I took a pretty large distribution, so you may be thinking like, oh, I should have set some aside for taxes. And yes, I probably should have, but also I think I'm good because there's a couple of things. So I have over $2,000 saved for taxes, like for the tax credit that I'm taking with my health insurance. And I think I'll have to pay some of that back, but I don't think I'll need all of it. So if I owe taxes, I should have that cushion left over. The other thing though is that my business expenses were very high for this month as well as for November. I think even September was high. So I don't feel like it's super urgent for me to be setting a large amount aside for taxes at this point. I'm glad I have those payroll taxes just coming out automatically. Okay, 401k, I did contribute $100. For my brokerage, I budgeted $0, but I actually ended up investing $35, and I bought $35 worth of VGT. I always show those on Transfer Tuesdays. My emergency fund, I budgeted $50, but ended up saving $76.02 there, plus the interest that came through, but we'll talk about that in just a bit. I did not add anything to my gift sinking fund, so that is correct. Car/car maintenance sinking fund, I did add 100. Car insurance sinking fund, I did add 125. I did not donate any money because I still have my foster dog, so I spent quite a bit on her. House/utilities, I budgeted $1,135, and that is correct. Household, I spent $48.88. Did I leave a note? I think I got laundry detergent. I know I got water filters for the fridge, and it might have been laundry detergent, but I could be wrong on that because I feel like I had just bought some. But yeah, still within budget there, so that's good. For groceries, I budgeted $400. Unfortunately, I went over here. $462.08, and what actually put me over, so obviously I'm over by $62.08. You can see the note here that I purchased 4 bags of coffee. I only order from Grounds and Hounds. It is really good coffee, and then they also donate to animal rescues. So I like to order from them in bulk because then I get free shipping, because if I just bought one here and there, I'd have to pay for shipping, and I know many of y'all are the same. Like, I refuse to pay for shipping, so I just buy, usually 4 or 5 at a time. And that's really what put me over. I was probably over budget already by like $10 or so, but that's what got me to this point. Overall though, this isn't too bad because while we were in Florida for 3 weeks, I was paying for all of the groceries. So the reason that I was paying for all of the groceries was because my boyfriend paid for the whole Airbnb, which was like $4,000. So of course I'm gonna cover everything else because that's a huge savings for me. So I would say for the month, that is pretty good considering that, because that was like his meat products, and like I don't buy those things typically. So yeah, I think I did pretty good otherwise. All right, then food out. This category is wild for me. If you watch my channel, then you know that I typically don't spend much on food out. I did budget $150. I increased that because I knew we were going to Florida for 3 weeks. So that ended up being $288.22. And you can see the breakdown here of what I paid for. And also same thing applies here. I was paying for all of our food out for the most part. He had got himself like Chipotle a couple of times, but otherwise, I paid for everything else because that is what I wanted to do. We did find this vegan restaurant in Destin, Florida that is spectacular. 10 out of 10, 11 out of 10, I would say, honestly. It's called Vibe Vegan Bistro, and we went there twice. I honestly wanted to go another time, but it's very expensive. So just one time going to that was over $100. And then the second time, which was for breakfast or brunch, it was over $50. Absolutely worth it though. Like I wish I could have that restaurant here. It was exquisite. Then went to Chipotle, got some acai bowls, went to the Whole Foods Hot Bar, paid for some Publix sandwiches, got some Starbucks, and then on the way home got Burger King. So, because they have the vegan burger. So this is very unusual for me. I typically don't spend much on food out, but it's fine. It's fine. I'm also still in budget for the year, what I've budgeted for the year. All right, gas for my car, I budgeted $125, obviously higher so that we could drive down to Florida. I also paid for all of the gas, and I was under budget here, so that came to $97.87. Health and beauty, I budgeted $200. Over budget here, I spent $206.35. You can see I bought some sunscreen, I did get my usual massage, got some vitamins, got deodorant. I actually buy like refillable deodorant, so that's pretty expensive because it's like it's probably like 6 months worth of deodorant, maybe 5 months. I bought some razors and I needed some lip balm. So a little bit over budget, but nothing crazy. Dogs plus cat, I budgeted $400. And the reason I put higher was because I knew I would send my sister more money to watch Honey, my foster dog. But luckily I was in budget here, so I spent $396.09. I did send my sister $300 for watching her, plus the typical $180 that I sent her anyway for our 2 dogs that live with her, and then everything else was money that I spent on purchases for my foster dogs. Netflix is $23.48. Gym is typically $39.99, but this was an area that I was like, this might be higher depending on what we do down in Florida, because I was not about to go 3 weeks without going to the gym, in particular like weightlifting, because I would lose my gains, you know? So we did end up getting a 2-week membership at Gold's Gym. That was $70, so I don't think that's too bad. And then obviously I still had to pay for my membership here, so altogether $109.99. And I really liked that gym. It was actually, I was surprised to see how slow it was. Like there were not many people going. Destin in general just isn't a very populated area, so it was very nice, something I'm not used to. Typically when you go to the gym at like 5 p.m. here, it is packed, you can't get any equipment, and it's kind of like induces anxiety and stuff, but there it was very chill. So that was nice, well worth it. Personal spending, I budgeted $50. I did spend a little bit here, so $51.17, so $1.17 over budget. But I bought, what's this, 13.7? I know I bought a sweatshirt in Florida, and maybe I bought a book because I'm not sure what this is. Gifts, I budgeted $100 because my sister's birthday was in October. I spent $71.18. This is part of the reason why I have not been adding to my gift sinking fund, but I also did not pull from my gift sinking fund, so just cash flowed that. And then laundry, I budgeted $15 because we did not have laundry in unit at our Airbnb, but it was attached to the condo. So because of that, I think it was cheaper. I ended up actually only spending $13 on laundry. It was like an app, CSC Pay or something like that. Oh, and that was another thing. I did not pay to do laundry for my boyfriend's clothes. He paid for that himself. And then final thing here that I did not budget for would be fun/entertainment, and that came to $16. I ended up going to the movies and seeing Kiki's delivery service, I think it's called. So last year, my sister and my mom, we went to see Spirited Away, and that was because I purchased it, and it's kind of cool because my sister ended up really liking that movie. So did my mom. But because of that, my sister wanted to take her boyfriend to go see Spirited Away, but that was actually in April when it was in theaters. These movies are really old. They're like, well, first of all, I'm not typically one to watch anime, but these movies are so good and cute and unique. Plus they usually have like stories in them or like inspiration. But yeah, my sister invited me to go see this because she wanted to see it. So I thought that's cool that I got her into Spirited Away and Studio Ghibli anyway. So yeah, sorry, I'm talking too much. Altogether, I spent $3,705.51, so I was in the positive by $689. And I definitely felt that because I had over $1,000 in my personal checking account going into November, which I, as of lately, typically have not had. And yeah, it's good because I know that I will not need to pull from my emergency fund in November to pay for like the house and stuff. So altogether, yes, I was over budget, but I think I did pretty good considering we were in Florida for 3 weeks. All right, here we are on my annual tracker. And for October, we're gonna be looking at my savings and then my investments. So starting with my savings, these are all in Marcus by Goldman Sachs. And I get this question on like every single video when I talk about my sinking funds. So I use Marcus by Goldman Sachs. Right now, the interest rate is 4.1%, but that fluctuates. I've been with Marcus by Goldman Sachs since like 2018. I absolutely love it. But with this account, you can have multiple accounts in one. So yes, all of my sinking funds are separated. I have them all labeled accordingly, but it's all under one login. They each have their own account number though, but they are earning the same interest. So that's how I keep track of my sinking funds. I prefer to have them separated out, and Marcus does that seamlessly. There's other accounts that do this as well, like Synchrony or Ally. And I recorded these numbers after the interest came through as of yesterday. So for my taxes, I didn't put anything there. So that's the $1.15. My emergency fund grew by a little bit, so I saved some, but also the interest, I get the most interest here because of how much is in it. That came to $12,478.36. My gift sinking fund, $1,119.86. Travel, $6,214.79. Car, that one's growing so nicely. Like if we look back, sorry, I got distracted, but if we look back, I had added 6,000 back in March, and it's grown by $200 on its own. I have not added anything to that. So that is the power of compounding interest right there. Car/car maintenance, that is at $3,401.32. Car insurance is $637.82. This will be gone in November because I gotta pay for my car insurance. Insurance savings, this is what I was talking about. I have this savings set aside for the tax credit that I'm taking for my health insurance. $2,527.16. And then business sinking fund is at $1,904.63. So altogether I have $28,285.09, which is an increase compared to last month. So that is good. That is what I'm trying to do. I really want to get this to over $32,000 by the end of the year. That will be quite a challenge depending on my income, but still something I'm gonna aim for because I at least want it over 30,000 again altogether. All right, and then for my investments, starting with my Roth IRA, that's at $38,046.68. That went down 0.4%. And honestly, throughout the whole month, I was like way up, and then toward the last couple of days, I guess things went down. So it's weird. 401k, that did go up 2.8% and is at $38,936.76. My SEP IRA, that went down 0.5% to $431.25. My brokerage account, that went down 0.13% and it's at $10,180.01. And then Coinbase, which is crypto, I actually ended up selling it all. It was super easy. I think I told y'all recently that I had like probably 15 different types of crypto left in there. That's why they're these small, like 30, 36, 31, 36. Yeah, I just had a whole bunch of small amounts of crypto, of different types of crypto, and I went through and sold those all. I did lose money because each time you sell, you have to pay a fee based off of whatever I don't know what they base it off of. But yeah, because of that, I actually lost money, but I don't care. I ended up just letting that come to my bank account. that ended up being like $21 or $22, something like that. And now this is at 0, so I don't even have to worry about it, and it won't be there for 2025. So altogether though, my investments went up by 1%, which I was glad to see. $87,594.70 invested. And then for the yellow section, this is where we will see my net worth. So all the numbers that you just saw that I just went through will be down here. I do not count the value of my car, and I also don't pull down my tax savings, but this is just $1.15. I do add in the balance in my checking accounts though. So my business checking account as well as my personal checking account, and I subtract any outstanding balances on my credit cards, because sometimes I do have that floating credit card debt, but I never pay interest on my credit cards, just side note. But sometimes there's like a floating balance on there if I purchase something toward the end of the month. So that's all taken care of. And my net worth for October unfortunately did drop a little bit. So it is now at $117,258.99. So a decrease of like 200 something. I'll show you that in just a bit when I go through my goal tracker. But I'm still happy to be over 100K. I never want to drop below that. That is ideal. Also still in the 117K range, and I am hopeful that I can still hit 125K by the end of the year. And then final number here would be my credit score. I actually put my Vantage score. This is from Credit Karma, the TransUnion one. So I just keep it consistent. It's at 807. All right, final spreadsheet to go over. I'm gonna try to go through these quickly. These are the goals that I have for the year. First one was to max out my 401k. That will not be happening because I left my full-time job and I don't make as much money as I was before. But I am still contributing to a solo 401k, and all that I'm counting here are my contributions as the employee, because the match is counted separately. For October, that was an additional 100. So won't be maxing it out, but glad to be adding to it still. I want to reach a $125,000 or more net worth, but this decreased for October by $254.14. But still, I am $7,741 away from achieving that goal, so definitely still possible. I would like to make $100,000 or more in gross income, and I think this might still be possible, but it'll definitely be a bit challenging. So for October, gross income was $4,995.77, and I'm I'm 21,530 away from my goal. So if I can have some 2 10K months, I'll have to throw in a 11K month for November, December, then I could hit this, but it's okay. This is still pretty good. I have a goal of making over $50,000 from my business income alone, and that's gross earnings. For October, that was $4,225.42. I think I should still be able to hit this because I am about 8,000 away from 50K. My emergency fund, I want to reach 15,000. I did pull from my emergency fund back in August, as you can see, so that definitely took a toll on these numbers, but I still am gonna aim for 15K. Slower in October altogether with my savings plus the interest rate from my high yield savings account. I added $129.38, so about 2,500 away from hitting this. And then I would like to spend less than $50,000 in the year, and this is excluding savings, investments, business expenses, that sort of thing. And I'm on track to hit this because in October, I spent $2,919.31, and that means I'm 13,400 remaining to hit the 50K, and I definitely won't be spending that much in those months. So looking good there. So that's everything for October. I now need to go and edit this whole video and get it up. So I'm going to stop chatting. I feel like I talked a lot in this. I apologize, but also hopefully y'all like it because I feel like it allows me to explain things and just express myself. So if you're still watching up until this point, I appreciate you so much. Feel free to comment down below how the month of October went for you, if you hit any milestones, or if you have any big goals for the final 2 months of the year. I would love to hear it. But otherwise, please give this video a thumbs up, subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you in my next one.